Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on a Saturday morning. One, because we're back in the studio, as you can see. And two, we're now 5-0 in our last 5 Major League Baseball tier package picks on my premium page. And the good news is we have another Major League Baseball tier package pick going off here today. Now, we have the Twins -1.5 getting the job done on the run line yesterday. And they got the job done by the final of 5-1 over the Pirates. Pablo Lopez went 6 strong and didn't allow any runs. We also cashed in on 4 other premium selections on my website as well. We had Seattle, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, as well as a 3-team parlay. It all cashed in addition to the Twins. And the only way you could access all of those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive chairman package on my premium site. Chairman members get access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. I currently have over 605 members. We're signed up and active on my website right now. Now, if you don't need access to all of my premium selections, but maybe you want to access just one a day, I also have a membership for you. It's called my $1.99 Daily Best Play. And yep, you guessed it. It's only going to cost you just $1.99 for 30 days of service. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. Massive slate today. So let's go ahead and dive in. Red Sox, Yankees, 105 East. The New York Yankees are -165. Totals 8.5. Garrett Cole for the Bombers. Cutter Crawford for Boston. Now, Boston did take the loss in 3 out of their last 5 Cutter Crawford starts. They also have a losing record on the road. They're going to have to face Garrett Cole, who's been one of the few bright spots for this Yankee organization this year. Cole's officially 10-3 on the year with an ERA in the 2s. He's also done a real nice job punching batters out. The righty's got 166 strikeouts and a 1.05 whip. Now, this Yankee pitching staff allows just 7.7 hits a game. That's nearly a league low. 6 out of New York's last 10 meetings with Boston did fall under the total. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Now, the Bo Sox are also 7-3 to the under in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Yankees -165, under 8.5. Next ball game, Royals, Cubs, 2:20 p.m. East. Chicago's -195, totals 9.5. Justin Steele for Chicago, Brady Singer for Kansas City. Now, Singer's got an ERA just about in the 5s, along with a 1.32 whip. The Royals also scored just 3.4 runs a game in their travels. That's an AL Central worst. They're taking on Justin Steele, who's had dynamic stuff this season. The lefty's 13-3 with an ERA in the 2s. He's also got 120 strikeouts and a 1.17 whip. When it comes to hitting the baseball, the Cubbies love pounding it at Fenway. They're now a top 3 run-producing lineup at home in the league. Cody Bellinger's got the 4th highest batting average in the majors, 6th highest OPS average. Meanwhile, Jeimer Candelario's hitting .396 with the Cubbies, along with an OPS in the thousands. Michael Garcia is questionable for the Royals. Nick Prado's still out. 6 out of KC's last 10 outings did get over the total. They also went 80% to the over in their last 10 Brady Singer starts. Give me the Cubs -1.5, over 9.5. Next matchup. Sorry, I forget to, do this behind me. Sorry about that. Marlins Dodgers. Doubleheader today, no? Marlins Dodgers. Not on our big screen? Marlins Dodgers. Let me just double check here, guys. Yeah, it's a doubleheader. Marlins Dodgers game 1. 3 o'clock Eastern first pitch. Not on our big screen behind me. Looks like Caleb Ferguson getting the nod in game 1 for the Dodgers. Yuri Perez for Miami. And even though Perez has looked real good this year, the Marlins just don't want to win for the guy. They took the loss in 4 out of their last 6 Yuri Perez starts. They got shut out 3 times during that stretch. That really shouldn't come as much of a shock. The Marlins just, they don't score much while traveling. The Fish are averaging only 3.9 runs a game on the road this year. They're facing Caleb Ferguson, who's officially 7-3 with an ERA of 2.38. Now, the Dodgers are also a top 3 run-producing team in the National League at home. The Dodgers went 6-2 to the under in their last 8 at home. Miami saw 3 out of their last 4 road games stay under the total. Give me the Dodgers minus 1.5, under 8.5 in game 1. Next matchup, it's another doubleheader for some reason, not on our big screen behind me, but we're talking about the Diamondbacks at the Padres game 1. That'll be a 3:10 Eastern first pitch at Petco Park. San Diego's $1.50, totals 8. Looks like Matt Waldron for San Diego, Bryce Jarvis for Arizona. Now, both guys have under 8 total innings of work combined between the both of them. But I do think it's this Arizona lineup that can keep these guys afloat in this one. Despite how bad the D-backs have been since the All-Star break, they're still a top 5 run-producing team in the National League on the road. Ketel Marte is the club leader in hits. Christian Walker's in the top 10 in the National League in homers, ribbies, and OPS. As a team, the D-backs did get the W in 5 out of their last 7. They averaged nearly 6 runs a game in those victories. 6 out of these teams' last 10 gatherings did get over the total. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Give me Arizona plus 1.5, over 8 runs in game 1. Next matchup, Brewers, Rangers, 4:05 East. Texas is minus $1.45, totals 8 runs. Dane Dunning for Texas, Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee. And as good as the Brewers have played for Freddie recently, he still comes into today's ball game with an ERA in the 4s. Meanwhile, as a team, the Brewers took the loss in 3 out of their last 4. And they averaged under 1.1 runs a game in those losses. And if you think about it, it's not overly shocking. This Milwaukee lineup averages an NL Central worst 7.6 hits a game on the road. They're going to have to face Dane Dunning, who's been consistent for the most part of the year. The righty's 9-4 for the Rangers with an ERA of 3.10. When it comes to offensive production, the Rangers are scoring over 6.2 runs a game at Globe Life Field. Adolis Garcia's got the second most RBI in the big leagues, 8th in home runs. Meanwhile, Corey Seager hits .347 with an OPS in the thousands. Josh Young is still out for Texas. Winker and Tellez inactive for Milwaukee. 4 out of Milwaukee's last 7 road games did fall under the number. Meanwhile, the Rangers went 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me Texas minus 145, under 8. Next ball game, Phillies, Nationals, 4:05 Eastern first pitch. Chris Sanchez for Philadelphia, Jake Irvin for Washington. Now, Irvin's got just 3 wins on the season through 90-plus innings. He's got an ERA close to 5, along with a 1.41 whip. Now, these Nationals pitchers have given up their fair share of base runners on their own diamond. Washington's allowing 9.2 hits a game at Nationals Park. They're facing a Philly club who's in the top 10 in hits per game on the road. Nick Castellanos, he's the club leader in hits. Kyle Schwarber has the most dingers and runs batted in. And they probably won't need a whole lot of runs to get the W here because lefty Chris Sanchez has looked solid in numerous starts this year. Sanchez has an ERA in the low 3s along with a 1.01 whip. Now, Philly's gone 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Washington's 4-3 to the over in their last 7 at Nationals Park. Give me the Phillies minus a $1.60 over 9. Next contest, it's another doubleheader, not on our big screen, but it's going to be Rays Angels Game 1, 407 East. Tampa Bay is a $1.35 in Game 1, totals 8.5. Tyler Glasnow for the Rays, Chase Silseth for Los Angeles. And even though Silseth looked good, the Angels haven't scored a whole lot of runs for the guy. They're averaging just 3.6 runs a game in their last 5 Silseth starts. And in addition to striking out 9.6 times a game at Angel Stadium, LA's in the bottom 10 in hits per game. They're facing a Tampa pitching staff who's been tough to hit against. They're allowing fewer hits per 9 than any other club in the AL East. Tyler Glasnow has been no exception to that. He's punched out 103 batters in just 74 plus. Now, the righty's officially got himself an ERA of 3.01 along with a 1.07 whip. And even if Glasnow blows chunks, these Rays hitters are in the top 3 in the American League in run production. Jose Siri, he is questionable for the Rays. Trout, Rendon, and Crone out for the Angels. 3 out of the Angels' last 4 home games did get over the total. They also went 7-3 the over in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me Tampa Bay minus a $1.35. Over 8.5 in Game 1. Next matchup, Blue Jays Reds, 6:40 p.m. East. Toronto's minus a $1.35, totals 10 runs. Chris Bassett for Toronto, Brandon Williamson for Cincinnati. Now, Williamson has allowed his fair share of earned runs this year. He comes into today's ballgame with an ERA of 4.33. Ellie De La Cruz, he's batting just .257, and he struck out 92 times in only 249 at-bats. He's got himself a lackluster OPS average in the 700s, along with a minuscule 1.1 wins above replacement average. Not a whole lot of production out of him. Now, the Reds are facing Chris Bassett, who's 11-6 with an ERA in the 3s. Bassett's also punched out 137 batters. When it comes to offensive production, the Blue Jays are one of the best road hitting teams in the game. They're in the top 3 in hits per 9 while traveling. Whit Merrifield is hitting .301 with 23 stolen bases. Vlad Guerrero is the team leader in homers and runs batted in. Now, the Blue Jays did see their last 5 straight on the road stay under the total. Meanwhile, the Reds saw their last 7 at the Great American Ballpark stay under the line. Give me the Blue Jays minus a $1.35, under 10. Next matchup, little AL Central action. It's going to be the Tigers at the Guardians, 7:10 p.m. East. Cleveland's a $1.60, totals 8 runs. Tanner Bybee for Cleveland, Matt Manning for Detroit. Now, Manning's got an ERA of 4.60, and he does not have a winning record. Now, these Detroit hitters have also struggled rounding the bases. They're averaging only 3.9 runs a game this year. Now, they're going to have to face Tanner Bybee, who's recorded only 2 losses this season and 108-plus innings. The righty's 9-2 with an ERA in the 2s. These Guardians pitchers have also been insanely tough to hit against at Progressive Field. They're allowing only 3.7 runs a game in their own ballpark. The Guardians went 5-0 to the under in their last 5 home games. Detroit saw 6 out of their last 7 away from Comerica Park stay under the line. Give me Cleveland minus 160, under 8. Next ball game, Pirates Twins, 7:10 p.m. East. Minnesota's a $1.65, totals 8.5. Sonny Gray for Minnesota, Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh. And even though Keller's been more than serviceable for Pittsburgh, we have seen his ERA creep up into the 4s. The Pirates also don't want to win for the guy. They've taken the loss in 9 out of their last 11 Mitch Keller starts. They're taking on Sonny Gray, who's got 140 punch-outs and a 3.04 ERA. And speaking of strikeouts, these Twins pitchers are fanning more batters per 9 than any other pitching staff in the game. Pittsburgh saw 4 out of their last 6 Mitch Keller starts get over the total. They're also 7-3 to the over in their last 10 as as a ball club. Give me Minnesota minus 165, over 8.5. Next contest, Mariners, Astros, 7:10 Eastern first pitch. Houston's $1.55, totals 8 runs. Framber Valdez for Houston, Logan Gilbert for Seattle. Now 10-win Logan Gilbert's got an ERA in the 3s along with a 1.06 whip. And no real shock here, folks. The righties fanned 143 batters. Now the M's got the W in 7 out of their last 10 ball games, and that includes a 2-0 shutout just last night over Houston. And when it comes to divisional play, the Mariners have a .667 win percentage against the AL West on the road. Now they're facing a Houston club who's really struggled at the plate in recent meetings with Seattle. The Astros averaged just 2.3 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings with the M's. So once again, if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. These guys having a tough time at the dish. Now, they also took the loss in 3 out of their last 6 Framber Valdez starts. Kyle Tucker's questionable for the Astros. Jose Abreu's still out. 7 out of the Astros' last 10 ball games with Seattle fell under the total. The Mariners are 19-12 to the under against the AL West. Give me Seattle plus 1.5, under 8. Next contest, Mets at the Cardinals, 7:15 Eastern first pitch. The New York Mets are $1.20, totals 8.5. Kodai Senga for New York, Miles Mikolas for St. Louis. Now, Mikolas does have 103 strikeouts on the year, along with a 1.28 whip. And as bad as the Cardinals' record is, they still hit well at Busch Stadium. They're in the top 5 in the majors in home hits per contest. Nolan Arenado's 7th in the big leagues in RBI. Paul Goldschmidt's the club leader in hits. And even though Kodai Senga's been solid for New York this year, these Mets pitchers tend to struggle away from Queens. They're in the bottom 5 in hits allowed per game on the road. When it comes to offensive production, these New York batters are averaging under 7.8 hits a game. Now, injury-wise, Starling Marte is still out for the Mets. Lars Nootbaar inactive for St. Louis. Give me the Cardinals plus $1, over 8.5. Next ball game, Giants-Braves, 7:20 p.m. East. Atlanta's $1.15, totals 9.5. Yanni Chirinos for Atlanta, Logan Webb for San Francisco. And even though he's had some real good stuff, Logan Webb's got 9 losses on the year, and he does not have a winning record. These Giants hitters have also had a tough time making contact on the road. They're striking out over 10.4 times a game in their travels. That is a league worst right now. And even though Yanni Chirinos doesn't have great numbers for the Braves, well, these Atlanta pitchers do strike out a lot of batters at Truist Park. They're fanning double-digit hitters a game in their own stadium. And of course, when it comes to offensive production, you know, the real big strength of this organization, no one in the National League right now is averaging more runs per game than the Braves. Matt Olson's the National League leader in home runs and RBI. Ronald Acuna leads the majors in stolen bases. And out of 8 total starts this season, the over is cashed in all but one of those ball games for starting pitcher Yanni Chirinos. Give me the Braves minus $1.15, over 9.5. Next contest, White Sox Rockies, 8:10 Coors Field. Chicago's $1.20 on the road, totals 12 runs. Jesse Scholtens for Chicago, Kyle Freeland for Colorado. And as bad as Freeland's been, the Rockies did win 2 out of their last 4. They scored 32 total runs in the process. And when they're at Coors Field, they're averaging over 9.1 hits per 9. They're actually a top 5 hit-producing lineup at home in the game. Zeke Tovar is the club leader in hits. Ryan McMahon has all the homers and RBI. Despite a solid ERA, starting pitcher Jesse Scholtens, he's recorded only 1 win through a handful of starts. The righties officially 1-5 on the year, and the Sox continue to lose ball games. They took the loss in 7 out of their last 9, and they're a bottom 5 run-producing team. Tim Anderson's still out. Eloy Jimenez is questionable. 3 out of Colorado's last 4 at Coors Field got over the total. They're also 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Rockies plus $1, over 12. Next ball game. Diamondbacks. Padres game 2. 8:40 p.m. East. San Diego's minus $1.50 in game 2. Totals 8 runs. Yu Darvish for San Diego. Looks like Merrill Kelly for Arizona. And if Merrill Kelly does get the nod in game 2, he's gone 9-5 this year with an ERA of 3.05. The righty's also got 131 strikeouts and a 1.16 whip. Now, I do think the D-backs can, keep both of their doubleheader games here today within a couple of runs. They once again have a top 5 run-producing lineup on the road in the National League. These D-back hitters also, they're tough to strike out. They make a lot of contact. They're actually in the top 3 and fewest strikeouts per 9 at the plate. And even though I thought game 1 could, get over, I actually think game 2 will stay under the line. 7 out of D-backs' last 10 outings did fall under the total. Meanwhile, San Diego saw 4 out of their last 5 at Petco Park stay under the total themselves. Give me Arizona plus 1.5, under 8 runs in game 2. Next contest, Orioles A's 9:07 East. Baltimore's $1.75, totals 8.5. Cole Irvin for Baltimore, Ken Waldichuk for Oakland. The Waldies recorded only 2 wins in 99-plus innings. The lefties got an ERA in the 6s along with a 1.70 whip. Now, as a team, the A's have the worst record in baseball, and they score the fewest amount of runs. They're facing a Baltimore team who loves winning for Cole Irvin. They got the W in 6 out of Irvin's last 7 starts. When it comes to offensive production, the O's are in the top 5 in the bigs in runs per game while traveling. Adley Rutschman leads the organization in hits. Anthony Santander's got the most RBI. J.J. Bleday and Ryan Noda are both still out for the Athletics. Oakland saw 3 out of their last 4 at the Coliseum stay under the total. Meanwhile, Baltimore saw their last 3 Cole Irvin starts stay under the line. Give me Baltimore minus $1.75, under 8.5. Next matchup, Rays Angels game 2, 9:07 East. Tampa Bay's $1.20, totals 8.5. Zach Eflin for Tampa Bay, Patty Sandoval for Los Angeles. Now, Patty's just 6-9 with an ERA in the 4s. The lefties also got a sloppy 1.42 whip. The Angels have lost 5 out of their last 7, and they now find themselves 3 games below 500. Now, they got to face Zach Eflin, who's got 12 wins and 132 strikeouts. The righties also got an ERA in the 3s, along with a 1.04 whip. Now, these Rays pitchers are holding their competition to under 7.8 hits per contest. Tampa Bay went 9-5 to the under in their last 14 Zach Eflin starts. Give me Tampa Bay minus $1.20, under 8.5 in game 2. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Marlins-Dodgers game, 9:10 p.m. East. The LA Dodgers are minus $1.75, totals 8 runs. Julio Urias for the Dodgers, Braxton Garrett for Miami. And even though Garrett's been good this year, the Marlins play their worst baseball on the road. They're 5 games below 500 in their travels, and they've been held to just 3.6 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Dodgers. And against other teams, more of the same from this Marlins lineup. They're in the bottom 5 in the National League in runs per game. They're facing 10-win Julio Urias, who averages a strikeout an inning along with a 1.12 whip. Give me the Dodgers minus 1.5 and the over 8 runs in game 2. And with that, folks, now it is time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Yankees minus 165, under 8.5. Cubbies minus 1.5, over 9.5. Dodgers minus 1.5, under 8.5 runs in game 1. I'm 5-0 in my last 5 MLB tier package picks on my premium site. Link is in my bio. Diamondbacks plus 1.5, over 8. Rangers minus 145, under 8 runs. Phillies minus 160, over 9. Rays minus 135, over 8.5 in game 1. Blue Jays minus 135, under 10. Guardians minus a $1.60, under 8. Twins minus 165, over 8 and a hook. Mariners plus 1.5, under 8 runs. Cardinals plus $1, over 8.5. Braves minus a $1.15, over 9 and a hook. Rockies plus $1, over 12. D-backs plus 1.5, under 8 in game 2. Orioles minus 175, under 8.5. Rays minus a $1.20, under 8 and a hook in game 2. With my next and final free pick for the video, give me the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 8 runs in game 2. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. One final reminder, guys, if you end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, guys, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I was, tell folks that Chairman package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, guys, you also get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.